Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. For this review, we're going to take a look at the MAFEX Knightmare Batman from BvS, and it's the number 31st in the series. So starting with the packaging, you've got a nice big window in the front, so you can see all the accessories and the figure inside. On the side, you've got a shot of Batman here and the BvS logo. On the back, various accessories and gimmicks, and it comes with the kryptonite spear that the armored Batman doesn't come with. And on the side you've got BvS logo and shot of Batman there. On the top, BvS logo, MAFEX number 31, and the window wrapping around to the top. And on the bottom, some company information. Now let's crack this guy open and have a look at the content inside. And here you can see all the accessories, and it looks like he comes with a lot of stuff, so that's really cool. And on the back you've got the MAFEX display stand. Okay, and here are all the accessories that Knightmare Batman comes with. So starting from here, he comes with his mask or his cowl, and it's got this little tiny bit on top, which I think, if I might just jump ahead here, these are actually extra hands for Superman, the MAFEX Superman, which unfortunately I don't have. And so he's got a pair of the spear holding hands, I think, and he's also got this hand here, which is for the top of this cowl here. So I think it can kind of replicate Superman unmasking Batman, and it kind of fits on there like that, and you can have Superman holding the cowl of Batman. But it doesn't really stay on that well. And he also comes with an unmasked head. So this is supposed to be a Ben Affleck head sculpt. From a distance it looks okay, but if you look at it close, the expression is not the best. I'm not sure what he's supposed to be feeling, but it doesn't look like he's experiencing anything pleasant. So yeah, that's that. And he also comes with a damage head for the armored Batman, and this looks really nice, I have to say. You can see Batman's head in there. And over here you've got his handgun with the grip painted white, and it's quite nicely detailed. And he comes with a pair of binoculars, and this is really great because we don't really usually see accessories like this. It's very nicely sculpted, and it's got a leather band, so you can actually put it around Batman's head. His neck. So that's really cool. And he comes with a machine gun. I think this is a Scar H. Not 100% sure. And it's got some nice little details there. Very nicely sculpted. The barrel is a little bit wonky. I think it's pointing a little bit up, but that's okay. And he comes with that leather strap as well, so he can carry it on his shoulders. So that's kind of cool. And for his hands, he comes with a pair of open palm hands. He comes with a pair of binocular holding hands. So you can see the grip is a lot bigger than like a normal weapon holding hand, and it holds the binoculars really quite well. And he also comes with a pair of trigger fingers. So obviously this is for the gun, and it holds there quite nicely, and also the machine gun as well. And again, it holds the machine gun quite nicely in there. It's tiny a little bit loose, but generally speaking it's not too bad. And back up here, of course, you've got the extra hands for Superman. This is so Superman can hold the spear. And he comes with a pair of those, and also the cowl holding hand. And he also comes with the spear holding hand for the armored Batman. So you can see armored Batman can now hold the spear with his armored hand. And obviously this spear also came with Knightmare Batman. It's very nicely sculpted. It's got some nice paint detail there on the shaft, very pointy end, so be careful. I think I may have already bent the end there. And the kryptonite is very nicely molded in this clear green plastic. And to change the head, simply pop it off, and you take the neck piece off as well, and then pop the unmasked Bruce Wayne head on. The ball is quite tight, so you have to kind of fiddle around and to get it sitting there properly. And once it's on, it looks decent. I mean, it's not the best looking Affleck rendition, but it's not too bad. Okay, so I've just had to fiddle around with this neck swap off camera. It is a little bit tricky because you have to take basically the head off the Batman from the neck joint, and that can be tricky because sometimes the peg gets stuck in here. And yeah, so now you've got unmasked Batman. Unfortunately, you have to use the flesh tone neck piece to make it work. And just bringing in the armored version, let me see if this will work as well. So the good news is all of these neck pegs are compatible, and you can put the unmasked head on the armored Batman as well. But again, you have to pull it off from the base of the neck because the neck piece is simply too large to fit on the unmasked head. And now just putting on the damaged head that came with the Knightmare Batman for the armored Batman. And that's how he looks. Okay, moving on to the other accessories. You can put the binoculars around his neck, like so, adjust it so it's sitting inside the jacket. You can have his gun sitting around his neck as well. Just put it under his arm there, and you can have it also sitting across the back there, so that's kind of cool. And on his leg, he has a holster, so you can put his pistol in there. It's a little bit tight, just give it a push and it will go in there nicely, but it's very, very tight. And now for a closer look at the figure, I'm just going to bring in the unmasked head so you can have a closer look at it. So as you can see, the sculpt is not too bad, but it doesn't have the likeness of Ben Affleck exactly. And the expression's a little bit weird as well. But the hair sculpting and painting is not too bad. It's got some good little detail in there. And back to the main figure. Head sculpt is not too bad. I like that the goggles have they do have clear lenses in there, and it's been dirtied up, so that's a nice touch. The face is a little bit glossy, the skin tone there, but the sculpt is okay, I guess. And the scarf there is nice because it's soft, so it bends out of the way. Same as the jacket, but I really don't like big plastic capes and long jackets like this because it really hinders the playability of the figure. But in terms of sculpting, it's sculpted really nicely with some good kind of dirtied weathering look to it, so it's not too bad. On the arm, the sculpting is nice. It's got like this folded fabric feel, and it's been weathered the same as the jacket, so that's good. And on the chest, oh, the arm just popped off. Okay, so it still suffers from that arm popping off syndrome that a lot of MAFEX figures has. But anyway, on the body, the torso looks very similar to the standard BvS Batman, but you can see there's some differences there. I think these are like bullet holes, whereas the BvS one doesn't actually have that. But I think the midsection here is the same piece, just painted in a little bit of a different grey. And coming down to the utility belt, very nicely sculpted. I think this is actually the same piece. Could it be the same piece? It could be the same piece as the BvS Batman, but it has been glued down to a different crutch piece. So everything, the detail is the same on the utility belt between these two figures. And he's got this rubber belt around there. I'm not sure what that's for, but it's there. And the holster is nicely sculpted along with the straps. Some armor detail there on the shin pad or knee pad. And the leg is quite nicely done as well. And again, I think the feet pieces are the same as the BvS Batman. So same parts reused on this figure. In terms of proportions, I think his shoulders are a little bit on the narrow side. I would have liked to see his shoulders being a little bit broader, but other than that, really good details on this figure. And with articulation, Batman can look up that far. And oh shoot, decapitated. And with articulation, Batman can look up that far, and he can look down that far. And he's got tilting from side to side, and also rotation all the way around. But this neck piece does tend to kind of slide around and move, and it gets all funky, so it's a bit annoying actually. And with the shoulders, he's got a bit of a shoulder rocking action here, so he can do a bit of butterfly back and forth. And he's got, well, he can lift up his arm that high and down to there. But you can see if you don't adjust it properly, you get this really unsightly gap here. He's got bicep swivel, I guess you can call it, but it swivels up at the top of the shoulders. And then he comes with double jointed elbow, so it gives him a good bend there. He's got pin and hinge wrists, so rotation and in and out. And coming down to his torso, he's got a big ball joint in there, I think, so you can crunch forward that far and crunch back. Well, he can stretch back heaps far. It's pretty good. And then he's got some side to side motion as well, and he's got some really well articulated hips, so you can do all sorts with his lower body there. So that's really good, but it is a little bit on the loose side, I guess. And with his hips, he's got the extension, so you can pull his legs down there. That allows him to split that far, and then kick that far forward and that far back. And as you can see, the crutch piece is actually soft, so it will bend out of the way. And he's got thigh swivels up here, hidden in the top of the legs. Double jointed knees gives him a good bend there. And he's got rotation at the feet, all the way around. You can point his feet down that far, up that far. He's got some ankle pivot action as well. And he's got a toe joint which gives him a little bit of movement there, but not a whole lot. And just a side note, his feet is bottom of his feet is also sculpted in. And in terms of height, he measures in at about 16.5 centimeters to the top of his head, which is about 6.49 inches. And now for some size comparisons. Here he is with MAFEX BvS Batman. Here he is with MAFEX BvS Armored Batman. MAFEX Christian Bale Batman version 2.0. Misco 112 Collective BvS Batman. MAFEX Harlequin. SH Figuarts Harlequin. DC Icons Superman. And finally Marvel Legends Cyclops. I really like the design and concept of the Knightmare Batman, even though he only appeared in the movie for a very brief scene. I think the design is really nice, and I think MAFEX have done a reasonable job at capturing the look and feel of that particular suit. There's some nice detailing in this figure, like the clear lens in the goggles, and the weapons, and you know, his suit in general is very nicely weathered. But I'm just not a big fan of plastic capes and plastic overcoats, because it does really get in the way of the articulation. The thing with plastic capes and plastic overcoats is they will still look the same. They will still stick straight down the side or the back, and you're never going to get a very natural looking kind of pose out of them. Overall, it's a decent figure to have. It's really nice that they actually give us extra pieces for other figures with this set. So you get pieces for the Armored Batman, extra hands for Superman, and the removable Batman cowl, which honestly speaking should have been included with their respective figures, but better late than never. So if you're a fan of the BvS movie, or you just want to have a nice alternative looking Batman on your shelf, this guy is really nice to pick up. And he's got some really awesome accessories, which is actually quite enjoyable, because we don't really see things like this very often with Batman figures. So that's really refreshing and kind of new. So that's pretty much it for my review. I'm just going to put his gun hand on while I finish off the video. So thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time for another toy review. And just finishing off this pose. There you go. See you guys.